This is Frank Ramirez. Today we're going to be going over instrumentation and score order for mariachi. So, our instrumentation, we got our violins, normally in 2 or 3 parts. Sometimes there's one, just depending on your scenario. Trumpets, 1 or 2 parts. We got our voice part, our harp, which is optional. Not a lot of ensembles have a harpist, so they usually omit it from their score. We have our armonía, which is our vihuela and our guitar. Sometimes ensembles will use a guitarra de golpe. They would be included in the armonía part. And then we have our guitarrón. So, our score order and layout. We have our melodic instruments on top, which is our violins and our trumpets. So right here you see we have our violins, 1, 2, and 3. And right underneath we have our trumpets, right? So violins first and then trumpets, right? The voice part will be written in the middle of the score. So we have our voice part right here. Harp will be right underneath the vocals, so right here. And of course, if you don't have harp, you wouldn't include it. And then we have our armonía, and we have our guitarrón right on the bottom, right? So our bass, right? This is our bass, this is our rhythms, harp, voice, and then we have our melodies on top. So, one important thing, we do have a transposed instrument in the ensemble, which is the B-flat trumpet. Trumpets will be written 1 key higher than the ensemble in order to compensate for the key of the song, since it's tuned to B-flat, obviously, right? So in this example right here, we have our violins, and their key signature is C major. The trumpets have 2 sharps, meaning they're playing in D major, but since it's written in D major and the trumpets are in B flat, it's going to sound like they're playing in C major. So don't get scared if you see sharps in C major, right? And another example, for example, let's say we have the violins playing in G major, the trumpets will be playing in A major. So G major has 1 sharp, and if we add 2 sharps to G major, that would make it A major, right? A major has 3 sharps, G major has 1. Violins would be playing in G major on paper, trumpets would be playing in A major on paper. So that's only to compensate for it being in B flat. Additional comments. Some softwares do not have a mariachi instrument in its instrument options, so you will have to select classical guitar and rename it as armonía, and acoustic bass will be renamed as guitarrón. Make sure to bracket each section together as presented in this picture. So violins are bracketed together and trumpets are bracketed together. MuseScore does this automatically. However, for the armonía and the guitarrón part, they are one section, right? Technically together they are one section, even though they are written separately. You still have to bracket them together. So MuseScore will not do this automatically, so you're gonna have to bracket them yourselves. And right now I'll go ahead and show you how to do that exactly. So thank you very much. This was basically an overview, and now I'm gonna jump onto MuseScore and show you how to set up the score. Once again, if you need to contact me, this is how. Thank you. Okay, so now we're in MuseScore. What I usually do is I go ahead and start with strings bowed. This is where you'll find the violins. So you're gonna go ahead, you'll add your violin parts. Then next you can go to brass and include the trumpet in B flat. So we'll add 2 of those, and you're gonna have to manually move them underneath the violins, right? And then we'll go to the voice part. I usually just add the voice. I don't include a specific voice part. So I'll put voice here. And that's going to be below the melodies, right? Then we go to strings plucked. This is where you'll find your harp, if you are including harp, right? So you go harp underneath the voice. Classical guitar for the armonías, as I mentioned before. Classical guitar right underneath the harp. And then acoustic bass. You could select other bass parts. I usually just select acoustic bass, right? We got electric bass, bass guitar. So we'll put acoustic bass in here, right at the bottom, right? So we have our melodies, our violins, our trumpets, our voice, our harp, classical guitar, which will be converted to our armonía part, and then the acoustic bass, which will be converted to the guitarron part. So then you go next from here, and then obviously you would include whatever information, so your key signature, time signature, whatever your score requires, whatever your arrangement requires, you would put it in here, right? And then from there you would just click done. Okay, so once we finish setting up our score, now we're gonna fix the actual layout and how it looks over here in our project, right? So what you're gonna want to start with is changing the names of the instruments. So you go over here on top to properties, staff and part properties, and you're gonna change classical guitar to armonia right there. And right here on the shortened name, you're gonna change it to ARM. Oh, my bad. ARM, right? For armonia. ARM. Over here, acoustic bass. Oh, I forgot to mention, you could actually just double click this as well. So right here, if you go here, you double click it, and you change acoustic bass to guitarron, right? Guitarron. And then the short name is GTRN. Guitarron, right? So once you got that, you can go over here. We're gonna need our palettes, right? We're gonna go over here. You're gonna click shift and then the down arrow to select both parts, right? So what I did, I clicked on the part, this measure, right? And then I clicked shift on my keyboard and then the down arrow. And now I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna search for our brackets, right here, bracket. You're gonna put your bracket and then you're gonna add the square as well. So now we have our rhythm section looking like the trumpets and the violins as well. So now we have it bracketed together as an actual section. One more thing. We're going to go over here to parts, and if you notice, our parts are labeled as classical guitar and acoustic bass. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to open all, and then I have my acoustic bass part right here. So if you notice on the top left, it's still written as acoustic bass. You're going to fix that. You're going to write in guitarron. Guitarron. There we go. And then from there, you'll go to your classical guitar part and you'll write this in as armonia. Armonia. There we go. So now, if you were to print it out and you'd print out your parts or save the score with the parts, it will show armonia on the top and guitarron on the top. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you again so much for watching. If there's anything I need to clarify, go ahead and let me know, and you could either email me or comment. Thank you very much.